Okay, this is our Walipini update. It's Monday morning.
February 15th.
I totally forgot the date, thanks. I love wearing my bandana. I wear them all my life in the winter. So now that there's a thing called COVID-19, I get to wear them to church. It's so much fun. I'm abandoned at church.
And into banks and nobody cares and things
I
to
know.
stick up. We have some serious snow coming down.
This is the kind of weather when I love to wear my bandana, because you just keep it nice, you know? Kind of a cultural thing probably, but the snow's coming down. I'm so excited about the snowstorm.
How many inches
one
have
of
we
our
got?
goals this week is to clean up a lot of the construction mess. And so we'll see how that goes. It's supposed to snow all week, so that'll be good. But if we can clean up all the scaffolding and there's just random things. There's a lot happening out here.
Can't even see the mountains. That's nice. That snowstorm has moved
Yeah,
in.
so let's just do a measurement of the snow. It's a good 3 inches.
That's awesome.
Let's go look at the rain gauge. So in the last week, we've had 1.5 inches of rain, melted water.
That's good.
So that's like down. That's like 10 inches. Doesn't matter. We don't get rain. Oh, we do. So right here, this is saying it looks like it's right on 30 degrees. 29 to 30 degrees. This rain gauge is clear full of snow. Doesn't work for snow, but
We'll
anyway,
see.
whatever. That's my thanks to Johnny's. The seed draft of Johnny's gave me that rain gauge for free at the convention.
Nice.
Okay, there's big bumps here. We're gonna trip on and die.
All right, we'll try not
This
to
is
die.
part of the construction mess. Big lumps in the water. Not being in the snowstorm.
It's from the water.
Too early to talk. Why are we doing this now? So the snow drifted in here a couple nights ago. This is what's left of the drift.
There's a pretty good
Not
drift.
too bad. Okay, here we go.
You got a cat that wants to come visit.
Let's see if we have a greenhouse. After that hurricane last week, I don't even know when I come out here.
Anything's a miracle.
Oh, it's nice and dark with all the snow.
Oh yeah, it is. It's actually warm too. Feels good in
Okay,
here.
so what was it outside?
It was 30. Let's check in
Like,
here.
I think it was like 29 and a half. This one is saying 30. I'd say that's right on 32. So that's something I've noticed consistently. With only one layer now of plastic, because the hurricane wind, one layer got destroyed. So we're down to one layer instead of 2 with the air. What we're finding is there was a lot more insulation in that dead air space than I thought there was. But we haven't had cold weather yet. The coldest it's been outside all week since that storm last week that blew the plastic off. The coldest it's been is maybe in the super high 20s, like 28, 29 degrees. It was our
I think
outside.
well, Wells was calling for 27, but Wells is a little colder than it is here, so
I don't know about that.
we get more wind here, that's for
We could argue
sure.
about that because we're at a higher elevation and we're right in the middle of these foothills, and I just don't know. But when we look up our National Weather Service, that's where it comes from, is the weather station in Wells.
So you can see
don't
the
have
cleanup
it.
going on here. William's got scaffolding up down there. He's pulling out the old plastic. Obviously, it's still along here. It's a work in progress. It'll take some time, but...
Well, part of it I don't even care about. Right now.
Right?
I'm just trying to do what's most important. And this last week, cleanup has not been important. That has been a low priority. Saving my plants, working on my Patreon business.
Those have been priorities.
Those are, you know, we all have to go to work, right?
Right?
The lucky thing about me is I love my work. So, okay, here we go. Just gonna do my morning chores. every morning I open up my greenhouse. This one is 42 degrees.
Now the heat source in here is the water, obviously, and you also have the heating, the warming pad underneath
This
those
heating
seedlings,
pad right here, it's this piece of plastic. It's as wide as a length of a tray, and it's long enough to fit 4 trays on. But I want to show you something fun. Normally in a Walipini update, I don't go into this much detail, but hey, I want to. This is the kind of detail I do in my Patreons. But I've got a bunch of people. How many subscribers do you have now on watching these?
Almost 400.
400?
360 something. 300.
Okay, so you're at 160 something subscribers, which is
360 something.
same thing. And so that's super exciting. So I just want to show everybody kind of what we're doing, because I know that when I subscribe to a new great channel, I don't always go back and watch all the videos. Some people I do, if they're great. So everybody probably will, because I'm great, right? Okay, enough of the dumb
and
jokes.
humble.
But in my Patreon videos, I go into great detail, and I'm really trying to build that business up. So let me show you what you're doing, because my Patreon channel might help you. Like last week, I posted 5 times, you know. But I'm trying to get people to be able to have enough knowledge and skill to grow their own food. Now, you don't have to grow all your own food, but at whatever level you want to grow food, I'm here to help you. And so you get a lot of benefits with Patreon. And the number one reason I started Patreon is so people could ask me their personal questions. So if you sign up, then you can ask me your simple question about gardening, and then I answer it by making a video or writing an article or whatever.
And you've had really good engagement with people on this. It's actually been really good. He's had lots of people with questions.
Yeah.
He's done his private calls. It's been awesome. It helped a lot of
Sure.
people so far this year.
So let me come in. Well, let's do a close-up here, and this is how I do it on a Patreon video, okay? Okay, this is a seed tray right here. These ones were planted on the 1st of February. Okay, there's my date right there. This whole tray was planted on the 1st of February. And I planted a whole bunch of different species in here. And that's the way I do it, because out in the garden, I want all my species to be growing at a different rate. So if I planted a full cell tray like this has 200 plugs in it. So if I have 200 plugs of cabbage, we're only feeding 20 people. So we'd have so much cabbage we wouldn't know what to do. But out of 30 people, we're eating maybe 5 to 10 cabbages a week, depending on our hunger level. And so what we want to do is every 2 to 3 weeks, we plant 10 to 15 cabbages. Okay, but we do that with a whole bunch of species that grow at a particular time of year. So all the crops that grow at the cold time of year, we're planting them here. So in this tray, we have thyme, collards, celery, kale, more kale, cabbage. What's that one? Green onions. I'm not going to read them all. There's too many to read right now.
A nice variety.
But if you look right here, I want to point out a detail. I have a row of celery here. This is celery. It's called Utah celery. Utah is the name of the variety. They used to raise a lot of commercial celery in the state of Utah. This one is Red Venture celery. It has red stalks instead of green.
It's gonna be fun.
And so if you think that all celery is green, well, you're a victim of the grocery store, because it's all they sell. But celery seed takes light to germinate. So when this is back here, I've had my little grow light on it. It's a tiny little grow light. I actually got it from my brother. He makes a lot of money. Well, I don't know if he makes money, but he gets free products from Amazon because he does extensive reviewing, and so they send him a lot of things so he can review it. And so we get a lot of cool gifts, and this little light was one of them. I've had that for a couple of years now, and I like to start seeds that need light. And celery seed needs light, so if you bury it too deep, then it won't germinate. And so some of these probably were buried too deep when I watered it, because I'm going to show you the barbaric way that I water stuff right now.
He's not lying.
Okay, so in this, this is like an $8 watering can from Walmart, Don't get this. These suck. They're plastic. They're no good. If they're in the sunshine, they biodegrade. I've had this one for about 2 years now. It's starting to wear out. This is the one not to get, but it's the one I have, so it's what we're going to use. If you want to get a great one, the link in the Patreon is to Allie's in Laverkin, Utah, and she has really nice metal ones. If you don't run them over with a tractor, they will last you for 40 years. All right. So some people are always watering their crops and they're too gentle with them. You got to knock them down because that builds strength in the stalk. Okay? You want strength in the stalks. Here's my artichokes that are starting to grow. Took them forever.
When he has a hose, and a spigot, he flattens the things.
Well, at this size I wouldn't flatten them unless they're tomatoes.
Right.
Tomatoes need a lot of flattening. Okay, look at this barbarism right here. Just drowning them. Okay, see how we're getting all the floaties of soil on top of there? Well, all those floaties are going to bury seeds. And so some of these are coming up really good, other ones are not. The ones that are not probably got buried too deep and they're not getting enough light to germinate. Okay, we're just gonna get in here and things are looking a little bit dry. I love to water in the morning. Watering in the morning is really important for the plants because too much watering is bad, and in an environment where there's not very much airflow, you're going to get a fungal disease called damping off. There's actually a more scientific. So damping off will kill your plants, and it's a fungal disease that's in the soil. And so if you cook your soil, like right here, this was in the oven. It looks like a casserole. I cooked this last week. It's just potting soil. And this is what I will use to go into the plug trays. And that kills everything, all the good stuff and all the bad stuff. I don't believe in killing the good stuff, but for starting seedlings, I do like to cook the soil and then my plants grow so much better. But, okay, so what we need to do is make sure that the damping off does not kill the plants. It's that fungal disease that gets in there and you got a little stem coming up and then the stem pinches off and the plant flops over. You see that in tomatoes all the time. But it can happen to any crops that you grow in a seedling place. The number one thing you can do is airflow, airflow, airflow. I try to kill it in the first place with cooking the soil, but you don't have to do that. This is like a secondary thing, secondary measure. Here's the thing that keeps at bay three great evils right here. Voltaire said work keeps at bay three great evils, boredom, vice, and need. And I hated it when I read Voltaire because he had a completely different moral than me. But at the same time, I still tell everybody to read him. What a great classic.
Candide. Candide's a good book.
Who knows what I said? It's a good thing my camera lady knows.
Voltaire wrote it, but the book was Candide. He wrote several things.
So this is going to keep the evil of damping off away right here. It is so important. And it'll actually help the carbon dioxide get into the plants. There's a lot of good things. This is why I water in the mornings. And at this time of year, I'm watering probably twice a week. And I just watch it, and if the soil gets damp, like the dampness dries out, you want to water before the plant wilts. Okay, thank you for this Walipini update. This was a long one. And hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you learned something that helped you with your garden. If you want to be able to ask me the questions about your personal garden, sign up for Patreon. It's super cheap. If you want mentoring, you can sign up for that level too. And it's more per month, and I still have, I think, 3 levels open.
Yeah.
So there's 3 more people who could sign up for that mentoring. And it's a 10-minute phone call once a week. I mean, once a month. And then we could talk on the phone. There's the phone call if you're on the $30 membership, okay? If it's the $8 membership, you get the articles I write, and you get the videos I make, and you get my gardening spreadsheet, and you get to ask me lots of questions. Was that 4, or did I repeat one? So those are the things, okay? So you can sign up for Patreon at whatever level you want, and it'll
Gonna
be awesome.
help him grow food.
I'll help you grow as much food as you absolutely want, and I'll answer all your gardening questions. This is William DeMille signing off from the Walipini update. I don't know.